really the last step of the first phase of our process with the redevelopment agency. I say it's the last step of the first phase because the first phase is really getting the ideas from the community about what you'd like to see us do with your money in Live Oak and Soquel. After I was elected and I sat down with our redevelopment agency, we agreed that it was a great opportunity to reach out to the community and find out what the community thoughts were on this community investment. And we mapped out a plan of community engagement that was fairly ambitious. In order for us to ensure that we got as many people participating as possible, we formed a redevelopment organizing committee, or something we called the ROC, which met regularly to think about how we would reach out into the community and get people to come to workshops. Local government isn't always the most exciting thing that you can do on any night of the week. So the idea that we should talk to constituencies within the community to get them involved was important. And I just want to thank the members of the ROC who are here. I just want to tell you who they are, and if you could just raise your hand. There was Kim Clary from the Corps, Patty Deming from the Live Oak School District, Suzanne Dowling from the Soquel Neighbors Alliance, Rick Halterman from the Mobile Home Commission, Julie Penniman from the Boys and Girls Club, and Elizabeth Schilling from the Live Oak Family Resource Center. This group worked together with the redevelopment agency to really figure out creative ways in which we could engage you as the community in this process. And that involved everything from doing presentations, knocking on doors, trying to reach hard-to-reach population, getting into the schools and making presentations, handing out flyers. It was a lot of work, but I think it paid off. We had over 500 people participate in this redevelopment planning process. And the thing that was really impressive to me was the community leadership that we saw at every single workshop. You know, we live in an age where, or a time period where the national debate is marked by people shouting each other down at town hall meetings and attacking the integrity of speakers. The idea that our community could come together in large numbers and listen to each other, not always agree with each other, but listen to their neighbors, find out what their ideas were, and think about how we can improve our neighborhoods and our community as a whole was an amazing process. And we should be proud as Live Oak and Soquel residents that we had the leadership ability to be able to do that. The other part of it, which I thought was incredible and really showed the leadership skills of our community, was that the community was not willing to just think small. People didn't come and say, here's what I want done on my street. People were willing to think big about what we wanted as a community. And as a result, some of the ideas that you see reflected in the plan reflect those big thoughts that people had. And people really stepped up when it came to leadership. This is a new process, but I hope that it marks a way in which we regularly reach out to the community to find out what you think, because that's effective local government as far as I'm concerned. I'll just say a couple things about the plan. One of the things that as people read this plan, there were two themes to me that came across very clearly, and the things that we heard in the community meetings. One was the theme of partnership, and the other of sustainability. You know, we live at a time where it's hard to go it alone and be successful. And for the redevelopment agency to be successful, and as we as a community to be successful, we need to work together. And I believe that the next phase of our redevelopment agency work will be marked by a lot of partnerships. You heard some of the ideas that were talked about here: partnering with the schools, partnering with community-based organizations, partnering with the sheriff's office. This not only makes sense in an era of limited resources, but it makes sense because it'll make us have stronger programs. The other issue is sustainability. We now know lots more about the kind of projects we need to build and how we need to tread more lightly on the earth. It not only makes sense from an environmental perspective in protecting our natural resources, but it also makes sense from an economic perspective, because if you can design a building well, you can save money in the long term. There are lots of things that we can do and lots of sophistication we've built over 22 years as the Redevelopment Agency, whether it be around stormwater management or whether it be about solar power or the kind of materials that we're going to use in constructing a building. Being environmentally sustainable is very important. Another related concern, however, is the idea of financial sustainability. Whatever we do and whatever we build here as part of the redevelopment investment, we need to make sure that we can afford to keep it going after the redevelopment agency is gone. And so that takes you right back to the partnership opportunity, because if we work together, we can figure out a funding model to make that work long term. As people walked in this evening, they saw that there were a number of different things on the back table. There was a copy of the plan. There was also a copy of a piece that I wrote that I hope will replace a part of the plan. As this process was really about community engagement, and it was about making government more accessible to the people who live here. And when a lot of great work went into this plan, but I wanted to make sure that it was accessible as a planning document and a guide document, not only for us at the county, but for the community as a whole. So to that end, I tried to take what we had as part of the plan and rewrite it in a way that I thought was more reflective of what we heard in the community meetings. It's more about organization than it is about substantive change. But I want this document to be a document that someone can pick up a year from now and know what it is we were thinking and how we got here. And I hope that my fellow board members will support me in the revisions that I proposed.